Turning our attention to a really interesting subject, because we're going to look at the governance of blockchain. We're going to put the spotlight on how Intersect and its members are shaping Cardano in 2025 and also beyond. Now, specifically, our guest is actually looking to focus on how Intersect ensures that Cardano's development remains both transparent, community-driven, all of those sort of linchpins, but also aligned with the ecosystem's evolving needs. They need to keep up. Joining us now for his keynote speech, a much anticipated keynote speech, I'm sure you'll agree, is Intersect's Director of Marketing and Communications, Jack Briggs.
Hey, there you go. Smoke. This is pretty cool. I don't think I've had smoke on a stage with my entry, so that's nice. Okay, so I am Jack. I am a director here at Intersect. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about Intersect in 2025 and essentially how our members are shaping the future of Cardano into next year and beyond. And so I think just to start with explaining or just reminding people how monumentous 2024 has been with the addition of on-chain decision-making coming to mainnet. It came to mainnet on September the 1st. For those with the memory, that happened obviously not long ago, only about 6 weeks ago. And really, it's been a build-up of incredible engagement over 2 years. So we've had thousands of participants engaging with the whole design, going through consultation, whether that's feedbacking on the SIP, the governance design specification itself, through consultations, through workshops. And it's ultimately everyone here in the room, everyone watching back at home, everyone outside of the room that has made the Cardano's governance design what it is today. So that's been super impressive and something that I've been on the journey since that beginning as well. And it's been a privilege to be on that. And so with that, what I find that is really impressive about this is that Cardano is now, for me, a layer one unlike any other. It's one that has full decentralization in the way that no other L1 can even come close to, with our on-chain decision-making in the way that's decentralized and the design of the system alongside our already decentralized network through our stake pool community. So with that, and let me get my clicker out, should have had that prepared, I think, at least from my perspective, our pioneering rollout this year has positioned Cardano as a leading example for how decentralized global financial and social infrastructure can be governed at scale for diverse global needs. And I really believe this, and I think we are in such a fantastic position given our hard fork early in September. All right, so what is Intersect's role in Cardano's governance design? What do we do as an organization? So to keep it really short and sweet, we are a member-based organization, a not-for-profit one, advancing Cardano's development and supporting its on-chain governance. But sort of stepping back a bit and thinking, well, how do we do that? And actually, we're not really reinventing the wheel here. This has been done before. It's been done over decades, actually. With the internet, the beloved internet, is really a demonstration of how you can flourish decentralized infrastructure through open standards, decentralized governance, through global collaboration among independent institutions, and with Cardano entering this new paradigm where diverse entities, each with their own mandate, we can come together to shape a more scalable, secure, and essentially equitable future that we want to see for Cardano. Maybe drawing those parallels a little bit closer together, Cardano and Internet both demonstrate that if we can empower individuals and independent organizations to participate in governance, we can foster resilience, we can foster innovation, and we can solve global problems. Ultimately, at Intersect, our mission is pretty simple. It's to ensure through our members the lasting continuity and progressive development of Cardano, fostering a self-sustaining ecosystem that's fit for purpose and, importantly, perpetually future-proof. So that's what Intersect is here for. And I want to now step into recapping a little bit about where we are so far this year. In fact, we're not even a year old, actually. Cardano Intersect hasn't reached its first full year. We were incorporated on December the 8th in 2023. But our focus areas for this for 2024 has been three things, essentially. Supporting Cardano's on-chain governance through facilitation and tooling, And starting with facilitation here, for the hard fork that just happened in September the 1st, it was the last chance, the last moment that the pioneer entities, IOG, the Cardano Foundation, and Emergo, voted and triggered the governance action, not the governance action, the hard fork initiation, and hard forked Cardano into Chang. That's now not possible anymore. There are no more Genesis keys. Those three entities do not have any authority over the network, and it's fully decentralized, as I said before. So that's super exciting, and we've facilitated this through a hard fork working group. So back at the end of spring last year, we set up a hard fork working group to bring together the pioneer entities and also 50 other members of the community, be that SBOs, DApp developers, whatever they may be, to decide as a collective, should we hard fork or not this year? And that was the sort of hybrid approach to welcoming in, ushering in this new world. And what actually, for those that remember, the original date for the hard fork was the 27th of August this year, but the hard fork working group voted to delay that, to extend it until the 1st of September, the following epoch, just to allow dApps and exchanges a little bit more time to get ready. And that group voted, that it wasn't nothing really to do with the pioneer entities, that group voted, decided to extend it, and then obviously it happened on September the 1st. So that's part of our facilitation, and we're continuing that hard fork working group now because the next upgrade for Cardano is going to hopefully be in December. And so the hard fork working group is hard at work, getting that prepared and getting that done. The other thing we've been doing this year through our membership is developing tooling. So for those that have already delegated to a DREP, thank you, but you can do so through gov.tools, which essentially is where you can register to become a DREP and vote directly yourself, or you can delegate to a DREP and have them vote on your behalf. You can also review live governance actions and also propose a governance action to see a change on the network if you want to. So you can all do that through gov.tools, and we've developed that tooling with various members at Intersect. So the second thing we've been focusing on is coordinating a product roadmap process to deliver Cardano's next generation. And for those, again, the OGs in the room, the OGs back at home watching, will know that we started with 5 eras. We're now in the final era of Voltaire. We're in that age now. But what's the next generation of Cardano look like? What technical features do we want to see on the core infrastructure? What R&D do we want to focus on and invest in? And part of that is all going through the product committee and the process of sort of working this one out together in a collective, open way. Very much linked to that is the budget process. How do we utilize the Cardano treasury, which is something that we are all very proud of? It's one of, again, another USP for Cardano. The Cardano treasury roughly is now 1.57 billion ADA. It's expected to generate 300 million ADA in 2025. And so when we look at those numbers, what do we want to invest in next year, and what priorities and initiatives do we want to consider? Be that core infrastructure, be that R&D, be that marketing, scaling, innovation for things like Catalyst, excuse me, and a bunch of different initiatives that we can consider to really expedite, accelerate, and move Cardano into that new world that we're in for next year. So a quick look at the governance picture for Cardano. Right now, we have 450 registered DREPs on mainnet, and close to 1 billion ADA has been delegated to DREPs so far. There is a proportion of that that's been delegated to the auto-abstain feature, which is a bit technical, and I can go into that detail if you're interested at the Intersect booth. We've also had 3 governance actions submitted so far. They've all been info actions, which have no effect on chain, so there's no immediate impact. But what that's been really good for is testing out our processes. Some of our processes are off-chain, to do with the Constitutional Committee. And so it's been really useful as we're in this sort of technical bootstrapping phase. How can we test out the processes, make sure that we're ready for some of the more impactful decisions that we're going to be taking as an ecosystem next year, and in fact with the hard fork, the next upgrade, in December. So yeah, that is essentially our focus for 2024, and really this quote for me from Henrik Ibsen really stands out. And a community is like a ship, and everyone ought to be prepared to take the helm. I would say take this one step further. They have taken the helm. We've had a year where quite literally, thousands of people, some of them in this room, I hope, also but back home, of course, have been getting involved, picking up shovels and getting Intersect off the ground. As I said, we were incorporated in December last year, so roughly 10 months old now, and we have 1,700 plus paid members of Intersect. We also have 2,000 associates that have joined Intersect to play a role too and get involved in working groups and other various initiatives across Intersect's landscape. And some of the other big numbers that I want to call out here is the amount of content members have created. So far, this year, just now, members have created 1,500 pages of content on our knowledge base, which is just phenomenal. And it really is testament to the energy, the passion, the care that our members have, but ultimately the Cardano community has, to see the next generation of Cardano through, to accelerate and to expedite, and everything that I've said, sort of the features and the benefits that on-chain governance brings. And then also just to mention, through our open source office and committee, we manage and steward and maintain 90 plus repos on our GitHub so far, including the core Cardano Haskell node. And so we're very much, that's the sort of technical development advancements that we're working on alongside the on-chain governance support, which creates this wonderful sort of virtuous cycle of innovation and leads back to the mission that we have at Intersect to maintain and be perpetually future-proof and working towards always innovating on Cardano, which is obviously hugely important. All right, so those membership numbers, that engagement, it sort of leads us to a big voting period that we've just closed off. So we are, as of yesterday, we just closed our voting for committees and the board, and I'm very, very excited and pleased to congratulate our members, our newly elected committee members across our 7 core committees. That's the civics, the technical steering, the membership and community, the product, the open source, the steering committee, and the budget committee. So these are our brand new members that have joined. Thank you very much for standing, but also more importantly, thank you to everyone else that stood that wasn't successful. We had 140 members put themselves forward to join these committees, and obviously there's a lot less that have been elected. However, we had 7,000 votes from our membership going across all of our 140, and every single candidate received votes, every single one, which really is, again, demonstrating the diversity and engagement of our membership base, which is something that I'm always humbled by, but never surprised. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to working with all the new committee members as we move forward. The next election is in April, so we've got a 6-month cadence to elections, and that allows for knowledge sharing and just keeping that staggered sort of roll on, roll off for our committees moving forward. So every 6 months there'll be a new election. But last but not least, I have to give a call out to our new board members. So I am particularly welcoming Adam and Kavinder to the governing board. And this again demonstrates empirically that Intersect is a member-led, member-driven organization. And these 2 guys are my boss now. So thank you. Take it easy on me. And I'm really looking forward to working with both of those and everyone on the committees that have been elected this year. So thanks, Adam. Thank you, Kavinder, for standing. And there were 17 other applications that stood to join the board as well. So it was a really impressive showing of engagement and energy. Okay, quickly, because I'm running out of time. Let's get to 2025, because that's the whole point of this talk. We want to really empower members to enhance Cardano's on-chain governance and infrastructure. Now, we talked about that as part of the mission and why Intersect is here. We're going to be doing that by facilitating the approval and then the delivery of the product roadmap and the budget for Cardano. So we're working through the approval process now. For those in the room that were present in the budget masterclass by our subject matter expert, Lloyd, and our secretary of the group, Lawrence, along with other members of the committee, you would have heard a lot more detail about that process. So I do encourage you to get involved. And ultimately, we're going to be going through an open sort of process here for how members will be delivering and shaping the product and the budget moving forward into 2025. We also want to continue to improve governance tooling. I think it's a big thing, and support services for DREPs, for the ICC, and also for SPOs as well. And that will include facilitating the new election for the Constitutional Committee later next summer. The current interim Constitutional Committee have a 1-year term, which is due to expire, next summer. So we'll be facilitating those elections. The other thing we'll continue to do is facilitate the delivery of mainnet upgrades. So we've done that, obviously, as I said before, with September the first Chang upgrade. We're going to be doing that again with the second Chang upgrade, which will be happening hopefully in December. That unlocks the final features of Cardano's on-chain governance. And obviously in 2025, there'll be new node releases, and we'll be helping to facilitate those through the Hard Fork Working Group as we move forward. But also importantly, creating a robust incident response function. Now, we already have one actually. We want to continue to strengthen that. Those with an exceptional memory will recall on September the 1st, when we hard forked, that we had a little bit of an issue when we did the upgrade. We had a delay with the relay callback to the node relay callback to the chain, and it took a few hours for us to resolve that issue. Luckily, it was very insignificant in the end, and we pushed out a node release a few hours after the hard fork, which resolved the issues. And ultimately, that was all done through the incident response team that we have at Intersect, and we're coordinating that through members. Now, I would really want to stress that 90% of everything that happens at Intersect is not me or any of the team in Intersect working on this. It's members doing the hard work and really delivering this to the community. The other thing that we want to do is champion and stimulate ecosystem utility. One of our members that I really value his input a lot, has said to me this year numerous times, Cardano first, Cardano first, Cardano first. And I really do believe that as well. And I think for me, Cardano first means a lot of things actually, but in this respect, how can Intersect play a role in stimulating ecosystem utility through membership benefits, through networking, through partnerships, essentially profiling, advocating, promoting all of the innovative dApps and other projects that are happening on Cardano, and helping play a little role at least in stimulating that utility and those transactions within our ecosystem. We also want to strengthen our regional hubs. They've been super successful this year. We've had 6 sort of main hubs, and there's been some spin-outs from those 2. So we've got a hub in Tokyo, in Japan. We've got a very successful hub as well in Sri Lanka. Some of the team here from Sri Lanka, I know, are in the building as well. We've got a regional hub in Africa, led by WADA, across Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa. We also have one in LATAM that's looking at Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil. One in the US that's just kicked off. They're based in Chicago, but we had an event in Austin very recently. And then, of course, not forgetting our one in Europe that's being led by Clay Nation. That kicked off in Lisbon and also connected to Madrid too. So we want to expand that, I think, next year. They've been a super success story. What other regions can we have to help sort of make sure that the regional presence of members is being heard, people can connect, and it just feels good. The other thing we want to do is continue to enhance Cardano's open source resilience. We're going to be doing that in a couple of ways. We want to start an accreditation program next year so that we can start to identify those members, those firms that are core infrastructure developers, and then also helping level up those that are not so that we can create more developers, more people working on the core infrastructure as we move forward. In addition to that, we want to have technical reviewers looking at the work that the core infrastructure devs are doing. Is it to spec? Is it on time? Is it of value? And people reviewing that, and we're going to have accreditation for that. The other thing we're going to be doing is creating an incubation program, a product lifecycle for open source, by welcoming projects that are building, in an open source way, but are building on Cardano rather than just the core infrastructure. So we're going to be welcoming that too. And then lastly, I am obviously quite happy to be doing events. I like events. I think they're very good for us as an ecosystem. In particular, though, they are very important for governance. Governance is a particularly challenging subject, especially when we have concepts like the treasury and how do we utilize that. Often, at times, social media can not be the best place to have that conversation. And sometimes those conversations are better, more productive, more effective, and actually just nicer to happen in person. So I'd love to focus some events next year on on-chain governance and supporting that. Also for our developer ecosystem, so how to, again, back to the open source thing, how do we level up others in the ecosystem and outside to be core developers and work on the protocol. And governance, budget and roadmap and product, making sure that everything is being done the way that people want it to be done, and other ideas and innovative solutions for different challenges that we may face. Okay, I am running out of time, so luckily this is the last slide. Get involved. If you're not a member of Intersect, I would love you to be so. Hopefully I've convinced you that it's worth being a member of Intersect. The QR code on the left gets you in the door, and you can sign up for free as an associate. You don't have to, there's nothing there. And it's only $10 to join as a full member if you want to do that as well. The full member essentially gets you voting rights to stand in the committee elections that we spoke about before, and also vote on those elections. The other thing that I'd love people to participate in here is the budget and the budget survey. Now, you don't have to be a member to do so. This is open for everybody in the ecosystem to participate in. What do you want to see the Treasury spent on next year? What initiatives mean more to you than others? Help the budget committee shape up the budget so that it means the most to most people. So really do get your feedback in there. Hopefully the QR codes can scan for those in the audience. And if you haven't delegated to a DREP, I would love you to do so. We need a lot more delegation to go there. That link takes you to gov.tools. You can become a DREP yourself, vote directly, or you can delegate to a DREP and have them vote on your behalf. And you can also do raise info actions and other things at the moment. So I am actually back on stage in 2 minutes for a panel with some heavy hitters in Cardano. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been Jack, and I'll be back on in a couple of minutes. Thank you.